You could feel it coming. The tension, the shift, the collective gasp from the internet when Nike dropped the bombshell. Caitlin Clark had her own logo now. Not just a collab. Not just a Nike girl. A brand. A symbol. Two sleek, interlocking C's. Clean. Global. Instantly iconic. It was polished. It was everywhere. And it said one thing loud and clear. This is who we're backing. And while Caitlin's face was going up on billboards from Times Square to Tokyo, Angel Reese was spiraling.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
Not publicly, yet, but the energy was undeniable. The timing brutal. Caitlin's jersey flew off digital shelves. Her merch drop sent fans into a frenzy. And Angel? Her Reebok deal, once hyped as her big moment, was barely trending. Sales stalled. The buzz fizzled. Her shoe teased with a whimper and dropped into dead silence. And somewhere in all of that, Angel snapped. Let's set the scene. Just days before Nike rolled out Caitlin's new logo, Angel had been fighting her own PR battles. Off-court drama, cryptic tweets, that whole Candace Parker moment where fans accused her of being disrespectful. And whether fair or not, the narrative was shifting. She wasn't Bayou Barbie anymore. She was controversial, difficult, too loud. And then, here comes Caitlin, the golden child, the chosen one, dropping a logo like she's Michael Jordan 2.0 and casually redefining what it means to be a rookie in women's sports. Now let's be honest. Angel Reese is not a side character. She's fierce. She's loud. She knows the spotlight, and she doesn't shy away from it. She built her brand on unapologetic confidence, on that fire, on turning critics into fuel. And in a different timeline, she would be the headline. But right now, she's not. She's watching Caitlin get everything that the league, the brands, and the media seem to have been holding back for years. And you can't convince me that didn't sting. Because Angel's been grinding. She brought college basketball to its knees during that legendary LSU run. She made headlines. She made culture. She was a player who had TikTok on fire and the timeline buzzing. And her Reebok deal, it was supposed to be her moment. Her step into superstardom. But instead of a logo, she got a launch that no one noticed. No rollout. No campaign. No coordinated hype. No moment. Just a shoe, a few posts, and crickets. So when Caitlin's Nike deal exploded across every feed, with fans losing their minds over a logo, the contrast was painfully loud. And Angel Reese, who thrives in the spotlight, suddenly found herself in the shadows of someone she once went toe-to-toe with. You remember that game. The wave. The stare down. That NCAA final defined the new era of women's basketball, and Angel owned that moment. She dominated. She was the villain and the queen at the same time. And now, the same fans who cheered her confidence are calling her bitter, jealous, falling behind. Oof. Let's talk about the logo for a second. Caitlin's CC mark wasn't just a logo. It was a message. It said, she's next. She's it. And Nike didn't hold back. They tied it to a global rollout, exclusive merch, teasers for her upcoming shoe in 2026. And all of it felt so deliberate. Like this wasn't just a drop, it was a crowning. Meanwhile, Reebok dropped Angel's shoe with the energy of a forgotten group project. A few promo shots, 1 or 2 tweets. That's it. No rollout strategy. No fire. No message. And Angel, she noticed. Of course she noticed. The tweets started coming. Vague. Emotional. The kind of posts that say everything without saying anything. Y'all love to forget who I am. Watch this. I don't need a logo. I am the brand. I know my worth. Boom. 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 Each post was its own little detonation, and the replies were exactly what you'd expect. Half the internet writing for her, the other half calling her petty. She's mad she didn't get the Nike deal. She's falling off. Caitlin would never act like this. And here's the problem. Caitlin doesn't have to. Because when the machine is behind you, you don't need to shout. The world will do it for you. But when a machine isn't behind you, you have to fight for every second of attention. You have to demand your respect. And that's what Angel's doing right now. Fighting. Not just for clout or sales, but for relevance in a system that seems all too eager to crown someone else as the face of the league. And it's not just about the shoes. It's about what the shoes represent. Caitlin Clark is being built like a legacy brand. Jordan-level infrastructure, a clean image, strategic silence. She's marketable, unproblematic, safe. Nike's dream. Angel? She's unpredictable, passionate, fierce. She's not going to play nice just to secure a bag. And that scares some brands. She's Reebok's gamble, a bold one, but one that requires a real commitment, real backing, a narrative. And right now, Reebok's silence says it all. They dropped her shoe and vanished. No campaign, no defense, no amplification. And when you leave a high-profile athlete hanging like that, it shows. It shows in the numbers. It shows in the comments. It shows in her reaction. Angel didn't just lose her temper over Caitlin's logo. She lost her temper over what it symbolized, that she's not getting the same investment, the same elevation, the same respect. And you know what? She's not wrong. Because let's not pretend this is just a rivalry about shoes. This is a spotlight war. This is about who gets remembered, who gets immortalized, who gets turned into a brand. And if you think Angel's going to sit back quietly while someone else gets handed the throne, think again. We've seen this movie before. The underdog gets counted out. The media says she's done. The brands pull back. And then, that same underdog turns the whole story on its head. Angel's not out. She's pissed. And that makes her dangerous. Because when she feels disrespected, she works. She performs. She shows up to games with something to prove. And if Reebok's smart, they'll get their act together and build a platform worthy of her name before someone else does. Because one thing's for sure, Angel Reese is not going to be forgotten. She's not going to let a weak marketing plan define her. And she sure as hell isn't going to let Caitlin Clark walk away with a narrative uncontested. And Caitlin? She's not even saying anything. She doesn't have to. Her logo speaks. Her silence sells. And the machine behind her? Already miles ahead. But the real question is, how long can that last? Because being the face of the league isn't just about merch drops and logos. It's about pressure, attention, rivalries. And if Caitlin wants to stay on top, she better be ready to handle the heat. Because Angel Reese is coming. And she's not coming quietly. So, where do you stand? Team Caitlin? The quiet storm, the polished brand, the icon in progress? Or Team Angel? The fire, the fighter, the voice of the culture? Because this isn't just a rivalry. It's a reckoning. And it's going to define this era of women's basketball. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's got the better brand? Who's being overlooked? And which shoe are you actually wearing? Today's honorary award? Best passive-aggressive Twitter rebound goes to Angel Reese for turning a branding L into a storyline we can't stop watching. The battle's not over. It's only just begun. Let's keep this rolling because if you think the heat between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is cooling down, you're in for a shock. This isn't some one-week beef or social media misunderstanding. No, this is a full-blown branding war dressed up in jerseys, press conferences, and carefully filtered Instagram posts. And right now, the scoreboard isn't looking too kind to Angel. Let's call it what it is. Nike came to play chess, and Angel's team still figuring out how to set up the board. Caitlin Clark's signature logo hit the market with all the force of a tech launch. Nike didn't just introduce a symbol. They introduced a movement. They've already sold out merch that hasn't even officially dropped. Pre-orders for October already being flipped on resale sites like they're Yeezys. And Angel, her Reebok drop just exists. Let's be honest, it barely made a ripple. Her name wasn't trending. Her sneaker didn't get the sneakerhead treatment. There was no viral commercial, no photo shoot that broke the internet, no athlete endorsements, no fancy pop-up event. Reebok fumbled the bag harder than a quarterback with butterfingers. Meanwhile, Caitlin's logo has fans writing dissertations. It's elegant, it's timeless, it's minimalism redefined. People are analyzing it like it's the Mona Lisa in motion. There's even buzz around a signature shoe in 2026. 2026. 2 years away, and people are already building their outfits around it. Angel's shoe? Quiet. No rollout strategy. No fanfare. No mystique. just a product, sitting there like it's waiting to be discovered by accident. And that's where the frustration boils over. Because Angel Reese doesn't lack the presence. She doesn't lack the personality. And she definitely doesn't lack the talent. She's a force on the court, in interviews, in culture. She should be the dream for a brand like Reebok. She's already proven she can drive conversation. But you need more than just a loud personality. You need a strategy, a vision, a plan that builds hype, sustains relevance, and crafts a legacy. And what she got instead was silence. No narrative, no campaign, just a lone sneaker floating in the void. So when Nike pulled the trigger on Caitlin's branding rollout, you could almost feel the air get sucked out of Angel's lungs. Because it wasn't just Caitlin getting a logo, it was Caitlin getting canonized. She's not just a great rookie, she's the face. She's being positioned like she's already one of the all-time greats, and she hasn't even played a full season yet. Now, if you're Angel, sitting on the sidelines watching this happen, that's not just salt in the wound. That's a whole damn salt mine. So what does she do? She does what Angel always does. She gets loud. Not in a meltdown kind of way, but in the I refuse to be ignored kind of way. Every post, every quote, every subtle dig is part of a battle plan. She's fighting to keep her space in the spotlight before it disappears completely. Because whether fans want to admit it or not, the media loves a clean narrative. And right now, the narrative is simple. Caitlin Clark is rising. Angel Reese is struggling. But here's the twist. Angel knows how to flip the script. She's done it before. Remember when the media painted her as a villain after that NCAA final? She owned it. She made too confident a brand. She made classless into content. She turned hate into fuel and walked away with a national title, millions of fans, and a Reebok contract. So now, it's happening again. Different context, same energy. The narrative has tilted toward Caitlin, and Angel's already reloading. She's doubling down on being unapologetic. She's leaning into her style, her confidence, her I don't care if you like me persona. Because if the machine isn't going to back her, she'll build her own. But here's where things get even messy, eh? Because in the background of all this branding drama, there's the game, the actual basketball. And on the court, this rivalry is starting to bleed into real competition. Every matchup between the Fever and the Sky is appointment television. You can feel the tension. Every foul is scrutinized. Every stare down goes viral. Every missed handshake becomes a trending topic. Angel and Caitlin aren't just competing for stats anymore. They're competing for narrative control, for legacy. And that makes every play personal. You can see in how Angel guards Caitlin. Close, aggressive, calculated. You can see in how Caitlin reacts. Calm, surgical, almost smug. They're not just playing each other. They're measuring each other. Seeing who will blink first. Who will stumble. Who will say too much. Who will get clipped in the post-game pressers. And off the court, it's just as intense. Angel has started showing up in bolder looks. Statement outfits. Statement captions. She's making herself impossible to ignore. She's reminding everyone, I'm still here. Caitlin, meanwhile, keeps it quiet. She doesn't feed the drama. She doesn't acknowledge the noise. And that silence somehow makes her louder. Because when you're the golden child, the less you say, the more people project onto you. And now, the fans are choosing sides. Team Angel or Team Caitlin. It's starting to feel like pop stars. Like Taylor Swift versus Katy Perry. Like Nike versus Reebok. It's deeper than basketball. It's about identity, energy, culture, and who you want to see win. And it's creating a marketing goldmine. Every time Caitlin drops a product, it flies. Every time Angel claps back, it trends. The league is quietly benefiting from this clash, even if it's not officially promoting it. But here's the warning. This only works if both sides stay strong. If Angel Reese falls too far behind in branding, if Reebok keeps under-delivering, the tension loses its balance. And Caitlin starts to feel less like a rivalry and more like a solo act. And let's be real, nobody wants that. Because women's basketball deserves more than one face. One brand, one logo. This rivalry, it's not just about ego. It's not even just about sales. It's about representation. About showing that there's more than one way to be a star. Caitlin represents discipline, grace, the media darling. Angel represents fire, grit, the cultural magnet. And both are necessary, because the future of the WNBA doesn't look like one type of athlete. It looks like all of them. Loud ones, quiet ones, flashy ones, calm ones. And that's why this rivalry matters. It's forcing the league and the fans to stop pretending that greatness only comes in one package. So yes, Angel might be losing the branding battle right now. But don't count her out, because she's not just watching this unfold, she's planning her next move. And something tells me when she comes back swinging, it's going to hit hard. Branding isn't just part of the game anymore. Branding is the game. And Angel Reese, she's playing it with fire in her chest and something to prove. Because while Caitlin Clark is being meticulously sculpted into the perfect sports superstar, serene, buttoned up, Nike approved, Angel is out here playing the role of the disruptor, the wild card, the athlete who refuses to fit into a neat little marketing box. But here's the double-edged sword. When you step outside the box, the world starts throwing labels at you. Difficult, controversial, too emotional, which is wild because if a male athlete acted like Angel, chest-thumping, trash-talking, clapping back on social, he'd be hailed as electric, charismatic, alpha energy. He'd be featured in a Gatorade ad before the game even ended. But Angel, she gets criticized for showing too much personality, too much emotion, too much herself. And yet, that's exactly what makes her compelling. Because whether you love her or love to hate her, you're watching, you're clicking, you're reacting. That's star power. Even when the shoes don't sell, even when the brand's asleep at the wheel, even when the league doesn't know what to do with her. And let's be real, part of this whole dynamic, it's not just about two athletes. It's about two visions of what success is supposed to look like in women's sports. Caitlin is the prototype, tall, sharp-shooting, media-trained, a scorer, a record breaker, a walking highlight reel wrapped in a Nike contract. Her rise is clean, structured, engineered for greatness. She doesn't stir the pot. She gets served on fine china. Angel is the pushback, loud, flashy, emotionally raw. She doesn't wait for brands to validate her. She drags her seat to the table and dares them to look away. She's chaotic good. She's streetwear in a luxury showroom. She is the culture, whether the brands know what to do with that or not. So when Caitlin Clark's logo dropped, when a merch flew off shelves before the WNBA even tweeted about it, when ESPN dedicated a segment to a symbol, Angel Reese didn't just see another player winning. She saw the blueprint getting rewritten without her. It was like watching the gate get slammed shut on a door she thought she'd already opened, because she helped get us here. Let's not rewrite history. Angel Reese helped drag women's basketball into the mainstream with raw charisma and unfiltered confidence. She was the story when no one else was, the kind of player who made you sit up and care. And now, she's watching a former rival walk off with the narrative, the marketing, the cultural approval, all wrapped in a shiny swoosh. And that right there, that's enough to light a fire in any competitor's soul. So what happens next? Because Angel's not just sitting in her locker crying over sneaker sales. That's not her brand. She's plotting. She's realizing, maybe for the first time, that Reebok can't or won't carry her brand the way she thought they would. Maybe they never could. Maybe they saw her as a risk worth trying, but not a legacy worth building. That realization? It's brutal, but it also creates opportunity. Because what if Angel goes rogue? What if she stops waiting for the Reebok machine to start working and becomes her own machine? She's already got the following, the engagement, the media attention. What she doesn't have is a partner who knows how to harness all of that and package it like Nike has done with Caitlin. But that could change. There's so many untapped lanes. Lifestyle collabs, music crossovers, independent merch lines, a podcast, a web series. She doesn't need a corporation to validate her anymore. She just needs a platform that understands her voice. Because make no mistake, the brand of Angel Reese isn't broken. It's just muzzled by a system that doesn't know what to do with it. She's not flopping. She's being mishandled. There's a difference. Now, let's check in on the court. Because while all this drama swirls, the real fireworks are happening where it matters. Game night. Every time Angel and Caitlin play, the air shifts. You can feel the crowd watching differently. Fans hold their breath a little longer when they cross paths. Cameras linger just a second more. Every block, every layup, every jaw clench is a moment. And that rivalry? It's deeper than stats now. It's emotional. It's personal. It's legacy versus legacy, being written in real time. And the league? They're in a tricky spot. They want the attention, the clicks, the viral moments. But they also want control. Clean headlines. Positive PR. And when these two go head-to-head, the chaos is unpredictable. Do they embrace it? Or do they try to clean it up? Because here's the thing. The WNBA doesn't just have two stars. It has two movements. And if they're smart, they'll let both rise together. Let them clash. Let them shine. Let them be opposite poles of a magnetic storm. Because what's happening right now, this rivalry, it's pulling more eyes on the league than anything else. More than expansion talk. More than ticket sales. More than anything the marketing department cooked up. Because this is real. It's not manufactured hype. It's not empty branding. It's emotion. It's pain. It's fire. It's two women being so good, on and off the court, that we can't stop watching. And isn't that what the league has always wanted? Visibility? Attention? Passion? Well, here it is. Raw and unfiltered. Now all they have to do is not mess it up. As for Angel, she's not losing. Not really. Not in the ways that matter. She's in the conversation. And when you're in the conversation, you're still in the game. So maybe her first shoe didn't hit. Maybe Reebok fumbled. But people are still talking. Still waiting. Still watching. And that is power. Because if you know anything about Angel Reese, you know this. She plays best when she's counted out. She talks loudest when people tell her to be quiet. She levels up when people say she's already peaked. So go ahead. Say she lost. Say Caitlyn won the branding war. Say Angel's slipping. Just don't be surprised when she walks into the next season with a new strategy, a better team, and a comeback that reminds everyone why she started this fire in the first place. Because the race isn't over. The crown? Still up for grabs. And Angel Reese? She's not done. She's just getting dangerous.